Good afternoon, everyone. And I do want to apologize before we got started. I was actually talking and I realized I did not hit the button for us to go live. So thank you for those of you that posted in the comments that you couldn't hear anything. It made me think like, wait a second, what am I missing here? So that's what was going on. So we are live now, and I do see that we have almost 80 people that are in here with us today. So again, thank you so much for your patience as we got started. One thing I do want to say is if you have any questions, you'll note down at the bottom of the screen. They'll say post your questions in the chat or in the comment section. We'll be able to see those questions as well. Then we can bring those to the screen. So if you have a question, we'll be able to respond in that way. So you can post those in the comments. I see Mr. Smith is posted in there as well. So thank you, Mr. Smith, for that. Also, thanks to everyone that's been here. Hopefully, Miss Mullings, you're able to hear everything now. So again, you put that in the comments. We'll be able to answer any questions that you may have. All right. And also, if anyone may have missed something, you want to go back, we will post this on our YouTube page. So once we're done, you will be able to go back and kind of replay this on our YouTube page. And then once everything has been finalized, then we will share this on our website. So you'll be able to go back to the website to see the information or see the presentation in its entirety at that time. So again, I appreciate your patience. We're going to go ahead and get started with the presentation to give you a little bit of information. So Chromebooks are available for students so they can pick those up. We ask parents, if you would, please complete that form that's found in Power School. You can go into the parent portal and fill out that form there. Also, just as a note, the insurance is also available for you to purchase as well. For those parents that would like to go ahead and purchase that insurance, please make sure you go ahead and take care of that again through School Cash. You can take care of that also. And then the Media Center will provide an update to your child's teachers when those Chromebooks will be available. Now, one thing also, again, we will have those available for pickup during open house. So parents, when you come on open house, you can stop by the Media Center and pick up those Chromebooks as well. Also, we're asking if you would encourage your students to check their email account, their student email accounts. We send out a number of information there, of course, with the grades as it relates to Power School and things like that. But we also send important updates there as well to include maybe students may have received an award. We also provide grade updates there as well. And then every Sunday, we generally send a message out that's called our Week Ahead at Woodville. For our parents, I see Miss Riley is on here as well. For our parents who have been with us for a little while, we typically send a message out Sunday about 6 p.m., 6:30 to let you know what events are coming up for the week ahead. So if you would, please make sure that you are checking your email. Students, please check your email as well. Very important that you check there in order to get the latest updates on what is going on. So one thing about attendance, we want to make sure we stress that we did have an increase in performance on our attendance this year. And I think that really correlated in our student academic performance as well, as we saw a number of increases there as well. School will begin promptly at 7:40 a.m. That is for our high school students. So we ask students to please be on time. Pre-K classes will begin at 8 a.m. So pre-K classes will begin at 8 a.m. Parents, you can drop those students off in the front. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Also, the main entrance will open at 6:45 a.m. So that main entrance will open at 6:45. The gym entrance will open at 7:05. I know some parents like one entrance against another, just depending on where you're coming from. So both entrances will be available. Again, however, we do ask that you adhere to those times to make sure that your student gets dropped off. As a note, all exterior doors will be locked and students will be locked out. Of course, we want to do that for the safety of the students. So again, please make sure students arrive on time. They're not going to be able to access those side entry doors in order to come onto the campus. Make sure that your students are in uniform, and we'll talk about uniforms a little bit later on in our presentation today. Students that are not in uniform will not be allowed in the classroom. So parents, just do that double check as the students are getting out the cars and leaving the house in the morning, just to make sure they're in the uniforms. Students who are tardy 5 or more times will earn a detention, and we'll be making note of that throughout the year. We'll be sending you updates just to let you know where your student is. But again, once that student reaches that fifth tardy, they will earn a detention. And one special note, new this year, students who miss 10 or more days in the class, these are unexcused absences. Students that miss 10 or more unexcused absences in class will be subject to not receiving credit for that class. So parents, students, please make sure that you are reporting to school every single day. And if you are unable to report and it's an excused absence, for example, a doctor's note or things like that, please make sure you communicate that with us. We want to work with you to make sure that your students are making sure that they receive that credit. Just a note about the school uniform. So the tops, royal blue and white, those are the shirts that the students can wear. Also the bottoms, black, navy, and khaki. Some of the changes that we had this year are going to be that students can wear their Woodville Tompkins spirit gear. So for example, I have on my Woodville Tompkins polo shirt today. Students can wear this type of attire as well. Items will be available if you want to purchase. Some of those items will be available in our school store. And so parents, once you've signed up in School Cash or your email, you will get notifications to let you know when those items are available for you. Some new programs that we're excited to be launching this year will be our barbering program, as well as our band program that we're going to be launching this year. If any students are interested, we ask them to please send an email to their school counselor so that we can go ahead and begin that process of registering them for those courses. Again, barbering and band are new this year. We're very excited to be able to offer this. A number of our students have been asking for both of these programs. Barbering being an extension of our world-renowned cosmetology program and the great work that they're already doing there. And band, allowing our students to utilize some of their creative talents on our campus as well. So again, parents, students, if these are things that you're interested in, please send an email to your school counselor so they can make that note inside of the schedule for the students. Our student handbook, students must have the signed acknowledgement form in order to participate in extracurricular activities, athletics, and field trips. We'll be sending that student handbook out as we get closer to the start of school. So that will be available to you electronically. So we'll send it out to you in an email as parents so you can have that document as well. So again, students, parents, please make sure that you review that handbook. Again, extracurricular activities, field trips, and athletics, students must have that in order to participate in those activities. They must have a completed student handbook. I just saw this question come up in the chat, and let me pull it up here. So Ms. Jocelyn asked, when is open house? And Ms. Jocelyn, here's your answer. Open house will take place on the 30th. Our pre-K open house will begin at 3 p.m. Our senior meeting will begin at 4 p.m. and grades 9 through 11. Your open house will begin from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. So again, here are the dates and the times for open house. Please make sure that you come out. We love to see you so that you can become acclimated with the campus, have an opportunity to talk with the teachers as well. That senior meeting, again, will take place at 4. We'll provide a lot of information for our seniors to let them know what they can expect for their final year at Woodville. We want to make sure that it's a great year, but we also want to make sure that they have everything they need so they can be successful for life after Woodville Tompkins. Seniors, here's some information for you. I want to make sure we get this out to you. So we are, again, working with M Green Productions in order to conduct our senior photos for this year. These are the official photos that will be used for the yearbook. So the information is here for parents. You can go ahead and book those online. Again, you can go to mgreenproductions.com, or you see the phone number at the bottom as well. So you can call to make those appointments also. I do want to say I had a great conversation with Mr. Green, and we do have some incentives for our students, our senior students, who go ahead and get those yearbook photos done. So seniors, if you have not, please go ahead and schedule that. Get that done as soon as possible. Again, we use those photos inside the yearbook, and also whenever we celebrate any of our seniors for some of their accomplishments, we want to use that nice senior photo as well. So again, please make sure that you take care of that. Also, Again, that's where all of the official photos will come from. I know parents, you have some other things, you have some special scenes and things like that that you want to do, but we are asking that all of the senior photos, the official senior photos, be taken with M Green Productions. School Cash is going to be our official place where we're going to be sending information relative to any purchases that students or parents can make. That will include spirit gear, school supplies, class dues. That could be payment for a field trip. All of that information will go through School Cash. Parents, students, in order to make sure that you're eligible for this, you can just go to schoolcash.com and you can register for an account through the website there. And then once you register for your account, it'll link to your student. And anytime something comes up that is that pertains to your student, for example, if you have a junior and once junior dues are posted, you're going to get a message to let you know, hey, junior dues are available for your student. So again, please make sure you go through School Cash so they'll take care of that. As a note, we will be completely cashless this year. So we will not be accepting personal checks or cash. So we will not accept personal checks or cash this school year. So parents, students, very important that you go ahead and get those accounts with School Cash as well. Couple of changes that we're having this year. Breakfast is free and available. Breakfast will begin at 7:15 a.m. That's current. However, new this year, lunch is going to be free for all students. Now, in order for students to receive their free lunch, they must use their school issue ID. They can't use their driver's license or their learner's permits or things like that. But students must use their school issued ID in order to receive those. We know that we're at the beginning of the school year, so students may not have those IDs. However, they must use their ID number until their ID card has been issued. If they want to purchase some of the a la carte items that are there, they can go to My School Bucks. Sometimes in our cafeteria, there are certain items that are available for students. They can purchase those, whether that's maybe an additional item or something extra that's there. They can go to myschoolbooks.com in order to purchase that as well. And then also some parents we got some messages about the free and reduced lunch form as well. That form will be available. However, we're going to get further information for you to let you know about how that process will work. But again, this year, breakfast and lunch will be free for all students. So parents, at this time, don't worry about that free and reduced lunch form. Again, we'll get that information to you so that we can begin working on that for you. One other thing, as we get ready to conclude the day, we talked a little bit earlier about how we're going to get students in the building, but also important to speak with you about how we're going to get students out of the building during dismissal time. So pre-K dismissal will begin at 2:10, okay, 2:10 using the main entrance. So 2:10 using the main entrance will be pre-K dismissal. For our pre-K parents who are joining us here today, you'll be able to get more information during the pre-K open house. Ms. Brown and her team will be able to share more information to you about how those students will safely enter and exit campus. High school dismissal will start at 2:40. Parents, you can use, again, the main and the gym entrance in order to access the campus. Information is already on our school website, and they can give you directions on how to access both the main entrance as well as the gym entrance during dismissal. I do want to make sure I point you to our website. You'll see here on this side of the screen here, this is kind of the top page of our website. But here you can get a lot of great information. Some of these things that I've discussed today, but also some other pieces as well, kind of show you a little bit of what it looks like so you can see it as well. And then once I go through this, I'll go through some of the questions that you guys may have. But again, information about pre-K right here, back to school, and the school schedule is available for you. Information about the school supply list. We didn't get a chance to talk about that in depth today. But if you click on this link here, it'll take you to the school supply list, which is broken down by the subject areas. So you can look at English, you can look at social studies, and then you can look at our CTAE pathways to learn a little bit more about what supplies may be needed for those particular programs. So wealth of information is found here. Again, we talked about arrival and dismissal, but information is here as well for parents who may need some directions on how to get to the gym entrance, how to get to the main entrance. So I would highly encourage you to please check our website in order to get more information as we prepare for back to school. All right, let's dive into some of the questions that we had here. We have the Stir family asking, what if we do not have access to the parent portal yet? Yeah, we're going to get that information over to you. If you don't have access to that, please give us a call next week. You can speak with Miss King. Miss King will be the person that you can get in contact with. We'll get that information out to you as well, but you'll be able to access and get that information also. We talked about Miss Jocelyn asked her question as well. So open house again is going to be the 30th. And we have those set dates or set times rather set aside for families. So again, pre-K starting at 3, our senior meeting starting at 4, and then our 9th through 11th grade students will be meeting with us from 5 until 7. Again, they can have a chance to go through the campus. Miss Smith asked the question, is the gym entrance open at 7:05? And yes, Miss Smith, you are correct. Yes, the gym entrance will open at 7:05 a.m. To get the kids in. So again, if you're there at 7:05, we're there. We're going to get those students in. One thing I did not mention is make sure your students are prepared for our safety screenings as they come onto campus. We'll be going through and conducting those safety screenings. So we'll ask the students to have their book bags available to be open if they have Chromebooks or laptops. We ask them they take those out as they go through in the morning. That makes that process go a lot smoother and also helps us to know that we have a safe campus in the morning as well. Ms. Roberts asked about the vaccine. What if your child has been vaccinated? How many do the child have to receive? So once you receive that vaccine, Ms. Roberts, that information is going to be pushed to us through the Department of Health. If you have any questions, then I would ask you to get in contact with Miss Hilliard, Nurse Hilliard, our school nurse, and she'll be able to talk you through that. I think there's going to be another message that's going to go out to all families who are impacted by that, which are our 11th grade families who are impacted by that, to give you the contact information relative to who you can speak with on our campus. But it's going to be our nurse Hilliard. All right, got another question from the Stir family who's asking about hoodies. And yes, hooded sweatshirts will be allowed. However, those are the school issue or the school spirit sweatshirt. So if they have like an anime or something like that, those aren't allowed. However, the school Woodville Tompkins sweatshirt, those are allowed. And again, once the school store is up and running, you will get that notification to let you know when you can purchase those items. Again, the Woodville Tompkins spirit items. All right, got a great question from the Smith family asking how many pathways will the students get per semester? That depends. Depends on what the student needs on the academic side against their pathway the chosen pathway that they have selected. So that can vary. Typically, a student may be in 1 to 2 different pathways during that time or during each semester. But again, that can vary, again, based on what that student needs. All right. And then Mr. Smith came right back and said, can crew neck sweaters be worn over the uniforms? And the answer to that is yes. We do ask that those are solid color sweaters for the students. Ms. Smith asked, school cash charges, they're a better online option for the cashless campus. As of right now, the entire district uses school cash. So that is the option that we use, which is school cash. Of course, there's always new and different ways that we can do things. Ms. Smith, I encourage you, if you have a different option, please send that to me and we'll definitely pass that along. But for this year, we will be utilizing school cash. Again, that is the district option that we will be using. You guys are doing a great job. These are some great questions, and I really appreciate you guys chiming in and sharing those questions with us. Ms. Lewis asked, can a student change their pathway? Absolutely. And we asked if a student does have an interest in changing their pathway, that they do speak with their school counselor. School counselor will be able to work with them in order to help them in order to facilitate that process and find a pathway or pathways that are going to be a great fit for them. All right. So when will new students receive their ID number? So the students have already had their ID number. If they go into Power School, it's that 5-digit number that's there. That's their ID number. So that number is going to transition with them. as they come to our campus. If the student is transitioning from out of county, once that student is registered and enrolled, and parents, once you get that access to Power School, you're going to be able to see that as well. So it's automatically generated for them. If you have any questions about that as we get closer to open house, definitely ask us during open house, and we'll be able to assist you with that as well. All right. Ms. Smith asked, where do we obtain the student ID numbers for the incoming freshmen? So again, just as I mentioned with the King family, those IDs are going to be automatically generated for those students. And so we'll be able to share that with them. We understand that for new students or anyone that's coming over, that's going to be, that may be a challenge that they have. So we'll be able to get that information over to them. But again, those IDs have been generated for them. If you don't have it or you're unable to access it, by all means, please give us a call. We'll definitely be able to assist and work with you on that. Or if you want to come during open house, we can provide that information for you as well. All right, the Stir family asks, what's the latest a student can be picked up? So generally, we have outside, we keep the students can go outside the front or the main area of the campus. And generally, we have someone out there till about 3:30 in the afternoon. As a reminder, we do also have our tutorials and our study halls. So if parents, if you know that you're not going to be able to be there at 2:40, we do ask that you have the student maybe to stay for one of our tutorials or our study hall periods. We do have one study hall period that remains until probably about 3:45, 4 o'clock. But again, once our teachers come back and they share the information with us as it relates to what days they're going to be able to provide that tutorial, we'll share that information with you parents. But again, we ask that parents or students rather utilize that as an option as opposed to just remaining outside in the front of the building. All right, Ms. Metzger asked, what's the window for the pre-K times 2:10 until when? So we ask that pre-K students are picked up no later than 2:30 because it's at 2:30, that's when our high school parents are starting to come in. So we want to make sure that area gets cleared out as much as possible for our pre-K parents. Again, we're going to provide more information to you during that open house as it relates to more specific times. But I will say that we do ask that if you could pick them up but no later than 2:30. Again, that provides us the opportunity to get all our pre-K students cleared out ahead of when our high school students are going to start their dismissal period, which will be at 2:40. Ms. Garcia asked a question that I forgot to give you guys the information to. So thank you, Ms. Garcia, for asking that question. Student schedule is going to be available next week. They're going to be made available for all students and parents on next week. So you can go ahead and start reviewing and seeing that information beginning next week. That's a situation where throughout the entire district, all of those schedules are going to be pushed out at the same time. Once we receive notice that those schedules are available, we'll send a notice out parents to let you know, so you can go ahead and start checking and looking to check for those student schedules. All right, we got a question from the Falk family. She's asking about the uniform shirts, and she brought the darker blue shirts. Oh no, Miss Falk. Miss Falk, we can work with you on that. Again, just making sure that the students are in uniform and they have that. If they have that darker blue shirt on, they should be okay. As opposed to the royal blue. I know sometimes, particularly this time of year, may be a bit of a challenge to find those shirts. So again, that darker blue would be fine for you to get. But I apologize if you bought that shirt ahead of time and missed that as opposed to the royal blue there. All right, got a great question coming in about the SAT and ACT and college applications. So we do offer a SAT preparation class for our students that is taught on campus, and we're very excited. Students who participate in that class typically score a lot higher or higher rather after participating in that class. So parents, if your student is interested, or if you're interested in your student doing that, then please send a message to our school counselors. They'll be able to work with you as far as registering the student for that class. College applications, our school counselors do a tremendous job of working with our students to provide that information for them. I would say if your student is a senior, then I would go ahead and start looking at such resources as the Common App. That's a great tool and a great resource that a lot of our students have used, a great place they can submit their information one time and then share and disperse that amongst a number of different colleges. So that would be a good option for you to look at as well. But our school counselors will be sharing that information, and those will be things, if your child is a senior, that they're going to be talking about during the senior meeting. If not, then those are going to be conversations that we're going to have for all students grades 9 through 12, as we have admissions recruiters and people coming on campus to assist and support in that project or in that process for our students. So the Mills family is asking, can students change their pathway, being that barber and band have been added? Absolutely. So if students want to participate in that, please, again, send a message to our school counselors. They'll be able to assist you with that. Again, on our website, there is a tab there located called counseling, which is right here. You can click on that and it can get you the information that you need in order to get in contact with our school counselors. So Ms. Falk is asking about the vaccine. Is it mandatory? Yes, the information that we have is that vaccine is mandatory. Again, if you have any questions about that, then please make sure you see or get in contact with our school nurse in regards to if there are any exemptions that are available. However, at this time, all students in grades 11 must have that vaccine. Again, they're students in grades 11 only. Again, if you're interested in receiving information about any exemptions, please get in contact with our school nurse in regards to that. And her information can be found, again, in the information that we sent out earlier in regards to that. Question coming in from the Hagens family asking about book bags. Absolutely. We want students to bring book bags to school. And I think the question here is whether clear or mesh. So we do want students to have either clear or mesh book bags. We know some of our students are athletes and they bring in other bags. Those bags will come in. Again, all bags are going to be subject to being searched. But if they bring in those other bags, they need to bring those in and deposit those immediately in the gym after we've done our safety check, and those bags will stay there. But as students are moving through campus, yes, the clear or mesh bags. Let's see. This question is coming in. How about jackets with the hoods on them? Absolutely. Students can wear the jackets with the hoods on them as well. Those are just regular plain jackets. The hooded sweatshirts need to be the spirit wear sweatshirts. Let's see. The Atkins family is there. A way for parents to connect with other parents to possibly arrange carpooling. That I'm not aware of. In the past, parents have kind of gotten together, creating various groups and started to do those things in order to navigate and arrange kind of the carpooling piece. We don't, as a school, necessarily have a mechanism to organize that for our parents. Question coming here about tutorials and academic support programs. Yes, so we have programs available for both math as well as English for our students. Our teachers will go into that and more in depth, but I will say that we do offer the tutorials for our students so they can utilize, and there are some web-based programs that we have as well that can provide support for our students as well. But our teachers will go a little bit more in depth into that. Let's see here. Okay, Ms. Smith coming back around. She asked about the Chromebooks. So the Chromebooks will be available. Again, please make sure I go back to that slide. I apologize for those who kind of joined along. But yes, so Ms. Smith, those Chromebooks are going to be available. You can go into the parent portal in order to access the information. You can register for the Chromebook. Also, if you want to get the insurance, you can purchase that in school cash. Those will be available during open house. If we find out that we can get those out to you a little bit sooner for that, then we'll send that information out to you, let you know. But please plan for that as well. All right, another question coming in here. Can students play football and baseball for another school since it isn't offered? And the answer to that question is no. Students can only play the sports that are offered at our school. So that's the Georgia High School rule or the law that they have there. So students that are enrolled at Woodville Tompkins must play the sports that are there. If students are found playing at another school, then that school will in essence be ineligible, and that student will be ineligible from sports. So again, students can only play the sports that are provided at Woodville Tompkins. All right, another question coming in from the Smith family. They're asking about schedules. Will they be issued at open house? And those schedules are going to be available next week through the parent portal. and also through Power School. So just be on the lookout for that again next week. Once we get information that they're available, we're going to send that information out to you just as a note, so you can go ahead and start checking that as well. All right. Adrian asked a question about dual enrollment classes, how they work. I have a transfer student who's already enrolled in classes at the college. Excellent. You can get in contact with our school counselors. They can assist you with that process just to make sure that we have that. I will say if they're already registered for those courses, we will need a copy of that class schedule from the college, so we can make sure that it's appropriately showing on the student's schedule, and then also so the student can receive credit on their transcript. More family is asking clubs and are students available, are clubs for students available? Then answer is yes. Again, once our teachers come back to campus next week, we'll be able to formulate a full list and make you aware. But we do have FBLA and we do have robotics. We do have both of those clubs as well. All right, so we have questions here. Can we get more details about the dual enrollment and SAT timelines at open house? Yes, you're going to get more information about that. I will say, if those are questions that you have now, go ahead and send that email or that question rather over to our school counselors, so we can go ahead and start working with you on that. We do have a number of dual enrollment sessions that we host throughout the school year, so that way parents can go ahead and start preparing and getting ready for that. Of course, we'll do one in the fall, so our families can be prepared for that in the spring. And then we'll also do one in the spring so that families can be prepared for that going into the summer and in the upcoming fall as well. Question coming in here from the Roberts family. For students in 11th, 12th grade, does Woodville offer or help students with scholarships? Absolutely. We're very excited that the work that our school counseling team has done over the past number of years. Just last year, students got over $12 million in scholarships, and that's due in large part to the tremendous work that our school counseling team does. So they're going to be working and talking with your students about scholarships as early as the 11th grade year. I would also say our Instagram page and our Facebook page, there are some posts that are there already today about scholarships that are made available for students. So please make sure you follow along our social media pages. We do post information there so that students can get that information. We also share information as it relates to scholarships for our students as well to their email. So again, please encourage them to check those emails as well. If pictures are scheduled for September, is that too late? Absolutely not. So Wilkerson family is asking about, I guess that would be the senior pictures. Absolutely not. That is perfect. We just want to make sure we can get those done as soon as possible. And then during open house, we will have M Green Productions will be there. They can talk to you a little bit more about the scheduling process and how that works. But no, September is great. So just hold on to that date, and we'll definitely be excited to have your photo there as well. What are some key dates this junior year that parents, or this year for juniors and their families, should be aware of? So as we receive that information, we're going to share that information with you as it relates to PSAT or the SAT date for the students, any college fairs or any registration deadlines. We're going to share that information with you. Again, please make sure you check your email and stay tuned in with that. That's going to be one of the main ways that we push that information to you. All right. Simmons family asks, will students be able to change any of their classes, for example, the language course that they're assigned to? So we will have a process in the event that a student needs to change a class. Once those schedules are produced, we'll share those. So that'll come out hand in hand as far as what the student schedule will be for the upcoming school year, as well as if there needs to be a change, what that process is. So you'll get that information as well. So the Johnson family asked the question, and I answered it a little bit earlier, but yes, we will have after-school clubs for students. Again, once those teachers come in, we'll be able to share that information with you. We generally have a fair during the school day so that students can know and understand what all the clubs are and available to them. So we'll definitely get that information out to you as well. All right, so McCoy family is asking for the new courses, band and barbering. Students want to enroll in those classes. Yes, they need to go ahead and send that information to our school counselors. Now, it's going to make the process a lot easier for them. So again, they can go ahead and send that information to the school counselors as well. For those parents that are unable to join us today and want to hear this during this time, we're going to send an email out as well, just to make parents aware of that option and students aware of that option. But again, please go ahead and send a message to your school counselor so that we can go ahead and begin that process as well. The Rebold family asked, do we still have the same transportation status? That's correct. As of right now, transportation is still the same as it was in the previous year, where parents and families need to provide their own transportation. Question comes in here: will students be allowed to have phones throughout the day? Yes, students can have phones throughout the day. However, we ask that they are not a distraction to the learning environment. We do not want to, teacher up there providing some great information to the student and they're down looking on their phones or they're distracted. We know that it can be a distraction for them, and so we want to eliminate that altogether. Students, yes, they can bring those phones, but they cannot have those during the instructional period unless the teacher provides that information to them. All right, Scott family asks, are we able to request an unofficial transcript at any time? So yes, for the Scott family. However, there is a process. You go through school cash in order to pay for that transcript, and then it usually takes about 2 to 3 days. School cash is not up just yet, so once it comes up, probably within the next week or so, you'll be able to see that as an option within school cash for your student. Ramirez family asked, are there any news on the CAT transportation agreement? I don't have any information on that at this time. I would imagine that at some point in the near future, our school district will share information relative to CAT and the school district's agreement as far as providing that option for our students. So as soon as we receive that information, we'll share that to you as well. Question coming in from the Carter family: do students have to use their school issued Chromebook? Can they use their own laptops? Absolutely. They can use those as well. We'll provide information. They can go to the media center, and there's some additional information that they will need in order to access the Wi-Fi or some of the other components, so they can use that as well. As far as IDs cards go, will new students receive them at open house or during the first week of school? They're going to receive those right after. So we're going to have our photographer come in and take those photos for the students. And so once they take those photos, we'll use those for their ID cards. So once we get the photos taken, then students will receive their ID cards shortly thereafter. Do upcoming freshman students have summer reading? If so, what is it? That information was sent out to you guys in an email. I will go back and resend that to you again. We didn't post that on our website, but I will make sure that we get that to you guys for all of our students. That information was sent maybe at the beginning of the summer, but also in the middle of the summer as well. But I'll make sure that we get that information and put that back out to you, and also post that again back on our website so you'll have it. Question comes in here from the Parker family: are dual enrollment courses taken on campus, or do students have to travel to the college? So we do have two options. So we do have a partnership with Georgia Southern University where they come on campus and provide dual enrollment for our students. So that is an option, but we do also have options where students may go to Georgia Southern University, may go to Savannah State, go to Savannah Tech, go to Point University, which is another one of our partners. So both options are available for students. Is there an active TSA program at Woodville? Yes, absolutely. Our TSA program is a great program, tremendous program, and we work in that area working on robotics and engineering and manufacturing for our students. So yes, our students will be able to be a part of that program. Question comes in here for incoming freshman athletes: will the school council put the required weight training class on the schedule, or we need to discuss this at open house? So for incoming freshmen, they will take a health and PE course. That's the required course that students need to take. We do offer a weight training option for the students. However, we do want to make sure that we're also balancing that against the required academic courses that students will need as well. So we'll make sure that we have a balance of both. But students will take an incoming ninth grade, incoming freshman students, all of them will take the required health and PE course for the students. Singleton, I think this is Leilani. I apologize if I got this wrong, but I think this is Leilani Singleton asking about the process for parking permits. And so those parking permits are available during open house. Students, we ask, and families, we ask that you bring a copy of the driver's license, not the learner's permit. Sometimes parents will purchase those, and the students only have a learner's permit. They need to have their driver's license. So they need to have their driver's license as well as a copy of the registration, current registration for the vehicle, as well as insurance. So again, driver's license, registration, and insurance. Students, families bring those to open house. We will begin issuing those parking permits for the students. Garcia family asks, is bringing a computer mandatory? No, it's not mandatory. It's just an option that we want to provide and a resource that we want to make sure that parents have as well. For the Wentz family, how do I access the parent portal? Again, we're going to get that information out to you so that you can get in contact with Ms. King. Ms. King will be your point person, but I will make sure, because this question I see is coming up a couple of times here today, so I'll make sure that we send that contact information out to you. We generally don't like to post contact information out just because of some safety and security reasons, so I will share that information to our parents through your email, so please check your emails in the near future for that information. All right, Robert's family asks, how do we know who is the student's counselor? And so for this year, we have 2 school counselors, and so our 9th grade students will be working with Ms. Nobles, as well as our senior students, so 9th and 12th grade students will be working with Ms. Nobles. Our 10th and 11th grade students will be working with Dr. Miller. So Ms. Nobles, 9th and 12th grade, 10th and 11th grade students will be working with Dr. Miller. A question comes in, who is over the student leadership program? And that's the Gulfstream SLP program, I would imagine. And that is a program that is offered by Gulfstream. There will be an information session held just for our 9th grade students who are eligible to participate in that program. And then there'll be a complete process for them to apply. So as soon as we get that information, we'll share that. But that'll be almost an assembly that all 9th grade students will attend. They'll get the information so that they can apply. Bill's family is asking, when is the deadline for seniors to have their headshots for the yearbook? We would love to have all of that done before the seniors leave for that Thanksgiving break. So if you can, parents, seniors, please make sure you go ahead and go to mgreenproductions.com in order to register for your photos. Again, we love to have all of those done by that Thanksgiving holiday before we leave for Thanksgiving. Will students with jobs have to communicate with the counselor to set up a work permit? So yes, we need to, if student is required to have a work permit for their employer, then yes, there is a process. They can do that. If you go to our website, on our website, there's a tab where you can get that information and push that directly to the individual that'll take care of that, who will be Mr. Robinson, our work-based learning coordinator, if your student needs a work permit. The student numbers are not listed in the Power School app. Will the students have access to them prior to the first day of school? Absolutely. Great question from the Magwood family. Yes, the students will have access to that. If for whatever reason they don't have access to that, we will have that and we will give that to the students on day one. So we'll make sure that they have their ID numbers ahead of when they need them for lunch or breakfast. Question coming in from the Troop family, what branch of JROTC is available? So we do not offer JROTC on our campus. This is not one of the programs that we have here on our campus. All right, I have another question here. Our son is transferring from another choice program. Will he be allowed to participate in athletics at Woodville? So yes, students will be eligible to participate in athletics. There are rules as it relates to students transferring from one high school to another. So we're going to make sure that we're going to follow those rules. If your student is one of those students that falls in that category, our athletic director, Miss Emma Sharp, will be in contact with your family so that we can go through that process and make sure that, again, we are in compliance with Georgia High School. All right, so those are the final questions that I see here. I want to thank all of you. These were great questions. I always love doing these sessions and providing families with this opportunity. I know a lot of you have a lot of questions, and there's a little bit of excitement as we're getting ready for this upcoming school year, and hopefully this provided you with an opportunity to answer some questions that you may have. Again, I would encourage you, if you would, just go to our website, click here just so you can see it, wths.sccpss.com, and that will take you there. And again, there's a wealth of information that is there as well in order to assist you with that transition. As always, please feel free, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask those. There is a tab here where you can ask questions. You can go through and you can put that any questions that you may have, and we'll be able to go through and assist you with anything that you may have. I want to say thank you again so much for a great session. You guys are awesome. Look forward to seeing you for open house on next week, next Wednesday. Again, pre-K starting at 3, our senior meeting at 4, grades 9 through 11 at 5. And then also in next Monday or Monday after next, when we start school on day 1, again, school starts at 7:40 a.m. We need you in the building, in class, 7:40 a.m. so we can get started with the school day. Again, so excited. Thank you guys so much, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.